Great. We're also, this is a hybrid meeting, so some people may be joining online while we're doing this. But again, I'm Amy Birch. I'm a traffic engineer and consultant for NDOT. I also have with me Jordan Lipsey. He's also an engineer and going to be helping me monitor the chat and questions from the audience when we get there. So I coordinated with Cindy about the Garfield Street project. So this is specific about Garfield Street, but I'm happy to answer other questions as we move along. Here we go. So I'm going to go very quickly over some background information about our program agenda and our toolbox and so forth. And then I have a preliminary design that I can present to you and get some feedback from the neighborhood, and then we'll go with next steps. So traffic calming, I think you're probably all pretty familiar with this, but it's physical solutions in the street that NDOT installs to slow vehicles down. We do a lot of education through this program, enforcement, partnership with the police department, and then this program mostly focuses on engineering. How do we modify the street? And we're really doing this because we're focused on safety and vision zero. So there's a lot of correlation, direct correlation between a pedestrian's chance of survival and vehicle speed. So as speed goes up, severity of the crash goes up, but as speed comes down, your cone of vision is wider, your reaction time is longer, so you can maybe avoid the crash altogether as a driver. So we're really trying to slow vehicles down on residential streets. This is a very popular program. It's an application-based program, and so we have lots of applications across the county. 600 plus neighborhood streets have asked for traffic calming. Garfield Street was one of 25 streets that was selected last spring, and we're working through the program process. I do want to plug the hub. If you're not familiar with the hub, it's a great resource for to reach any department within Metro for services. Your trash didn't get picked up, the street lights out. That's a great tool. So use the hub. There's an app. You can call 311. It's really an excellent way to get your issues resolved. The traffic calming program is a data-driven process. So we have prioritization data that we use, and we go out and collect data on all the streets that have requested traffic calming. Garfield was one street with an application, and so we measure the speeds, we get the traffic volume, we also look at the context of the street. Are there sidewalks on the street? Are there bike lanes, bikeways on the street, nearby schools, parks, greenways, and so forth? And so that all goes into the prioritization process. And then those streets that have scored the highest, because they are demonstrating the greatest need for traffic calming, those are the ones that are selected. So Garfield was one of those streets. So I want to show you just some quick data points. We measured on Garfield. The 85th percentile speed was 32 miles per hour. That is the speed that 85% of the traffic over a 24-hour period was going that speed or below. It means 15% of the traffic is going above 32 miles per hour. Then the volume was just about 3,500 vehicles per day. That's two-direction volume. And of course, you have sidewalks, which are so lucky to have sidewalks on both sides of Garfield Street. There's a bikeway on the street. There's some parking. Every block is a little bit different. But those are just some data points there. This is our overview map. So we're talking about Garfield Street between Rosa Parks and 3rd Avenue. So here's our toolkit. You're probably very familiar because NDOT's been doing this program for a few years. We use speed cushions a lot because they're very effective. And they're modular, and we can form them in so many different ways across the street, depending on how wide the street is, what the context of the road is, whether there's bike lanes or parking and so forth. And we like the speed cushions because they have a lesser impact to emergency vehicle response, because you'll see in these pictures there's gaps so that fire trucks and ambulances, which have a slightly wider wheelbase, can straddle over those without being as detained. But they're very effective, and they're rubberized materials drilled into the pavement. Speed tables are similar, but instead of having the gaps, they go all the way across the road. NDOT has done some before and after studies on locations or streets where we have installed these devices and found that they're very, like I said, they're very effective. We've seen the 85th percentile speed, that graph on your right, go from 37 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour, which is generally our target on residential streets. Average speeds went from 31 miles per hour to 22 miles per hour where these have been installed. We also use radar feedback signs, mostly on streets that don't qualify or can't have vertical measures for whatever reason, grade or curves and things where we can't install those. They're also very effective, and they essentially just show your speed as you approach, as you're a driver approaching the sign. And it's just a great reminder for people. Narrowing and pavement markings, we will narrow the lanes and so forth with paint. It can increase some comfort for pedestrians, making a little walking path sometimes when there's not a sidewalk. Bulb outs are tightening some corner radii, shortens the distance for pedestrians to cross when they're crossing an intersection. This is usually more of an urban scenario. We've got some of that here in Salem Town and Germantown already. Chicanes are very hard to implement because it takes just the right width of the street. But what it is we're using pavement markings and often on-street parking to add some horizontal deflection in the street, which is otherwise straight. So we add those kind of zigzags on the street. So you may have experienced those on like Fairfax Avenue over near Vanderbilt. And then traffic circles are intersection treatments. So it creates some deflection in the roadway at an intersection. Usually the traffic control doesn't change. Like the stop signs may still be on two streets, and the main street would still go through, but they still have to navigate that circular island in the street. Again, these are better suited for larger intersections where we're trying to take up some space in the intersection. All right, so now I'm going to get into what our proposed traffic calming plan is for Garfield Street. So just to orient you first, the left side of the screen is the pink line is Garfield Street, and the left side of the screen is Rosa Parks, and then the right side is 3rd Avenue. So north is up. And so I'm also showing where there are already existing all-way stops on 4th and on 5th. And so because this is a grid network and we've got alleys and so forth, and the width of the street and everything, we think speed cushions would be a great solution on this street. And we typically put these in a series and space them anywhere between 300 feet to 600 feet apart. So that's about what the spacing is here. And we're really only showing it between Rosa Parks and 5th, because then we have the two all-way stops that are already kind of serving that end of the street. So it's really 3 sets of speed cushions, and it'd be 1 cushion in each lane. These lanes are 10 feet wide, so it fits really well in that space. I think I'll pause and see if we have any questions about this plan. Yes.
Would you consider one between 4th and 5th? I see people just on line between the 2 stop signs.
Yeah, so the block lengths are about 420 feet, I think. And so we typically would put them spaced about 300 feet apart. So that's why we didn't put that there. But, you know, we're here to listen, you know, if that's a real concern block, you know, it's something we can talk about. Yes, sir.
Building on that, I love the stop signs, provided people stop it. Stop sign. People don't stop it. Stop signs. They drive right through it. All you have to do is look at the grooves in the pavement, 4th and Garfield. You'll see where cars are bothering you, not because they don't stop, they just fly right through them. So I appreciate the stop signs. It's not working.
Understood.
With the stop sign too, I've noticed we've been walking, if they're stopping at the stop sign, they speed afterwards just to make it really light. it's changing, which is important.
I see. Mm-hmm. That's good feedback. And Jordan is also helping me take notes as well. Any other questions or comments about the speed cushion plan? Okay. So what we generally like to do at these meetings is, hear some feedback, make sure we're on the right path. So it sounds like not hearing any real objections about this plan, that we would be comfortable moving forward with this plan and the program. So I'm going to speak briefly about what our program flow is. Yes. Oh, question.
About swaps here, because I think that's kind of another issue.
Sure.
Particularly fit for Garfield. I think right now there's like a sign for a crosswalk happening for this, so that people don't actually like buy a crosswalk. I don't know what I'm.
Is that at the? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we can look into that. This program, Traffic Calming, is a little separate from crosswalks and that sort of thing, but we'll take these notes back to NDOT as well. Are you talking about specifically a crosswalk at the intersection with Garfield that may have like faded and it's gone, or it never was there?
Just a sign that says state law to stop, but there's no.
I actually
Gotcha.
put
Okay.
that in. That's how we got those signs, do we never.
Okay. Well, we'll.
Oh.
Okay. Well, thank you for that comment, and I'll share it. No, absolutely, for sure. Okay, so our program flow is, like I said earlier, this is an application-based program, so your neighborhood applied for it. Now we're here with a concept and having a meeting to get some feedback, like I said, and then we're going to go and put that concept plan into a more detailed engineering plan that a contractor can install when the time comes. That'll take probably 6 weeks or so, and then if needed, and it doesn't seem like we would need a second meeting, but sometimes at these meetings we have a second meeting because we have to retool the plan based on feedback we got or so forth, or didn't have very good attendance, but that is certainly not the case tonight. And so from there, we would move into our online ballot phase. And then if the balloting is successful, then it moves into the construction queue. The online ballot is around 2 months. And then after the ballot passes, it's about 8 to 10 months for construction. Hopefully. I'm going to get to that. Great question. So let me tell you about the balloting. What it is a postcard you'll get in the mail, and it will have a QR code that will take you to an online form to vote. You'll have a unique ID based so that we make sure we don't have duplicate votes and so forth. And then at the top of it, it will say when the ballot closes. So it's a 6-week window for voting. So do it as soon as you get it, because then 6 weeks goes by faster than you think. But you can vote yes or no. The final plan will be posted as well. So you can click on a link and go to the plans and view what you're exactly voting on. Yes.
The QR code on our website, because I have lived here for 40 years, I've never got a postcard for any voting for anything. So,
We haven't voted yet.
no.
Oh. Gotcha.
So a lot of people don't get those postcards.
Oh, yes.
So that we
Mm-hmm.
can for it. And my question kind of goes along with
Yeah.
that. What's the range of people that get that far? Because, probably very close to fifth, and they're not far, and it's not bad about them. But
Sure.
I'm just saying, I never got any notification, so I didn't know if there's a range of streets on who gets that.
It is. It's just the property owners of property that abut the street. So it could be a corner lot that your address is on the side street, but it's just those that touch the street.
Okay.
Exactly. So I've highlighted, you probably can't see in the back, but I've highlighted those properties. And we pulled this from Metro's parcel map.
properties are you still allowed to vote or is?
No, it's only the property owners on, for those properties that get it. So many of you live in the neighborhood, you may not get, a postcard, but we, we're glad to have you informed about the project. Yes, sir.
Did you factor in the Inspiritus complex in your traffic study? The
No.
Egress, and we don't know where that is. We live on 7th, and
I'm not sure, has it been built yet?
It's being built.
Oh, it's being built, okay. No, it wouldn't have gone into that, but, we didn't necessarily need that.
shouldn't be considered.
I would, yes. Is it gonna have an access on,
We don't know.
Garfield? Okay, so we can look into that as we detail out the design plans to not put the cushion where their driveway is gonna be or something like that, if that's the case. I'm not familiar with it,
Make
but
sure they have a driveway.
your street was
They
selected.
not have a driveway. Their access is off.
Oh, great.
In the alley.
Which is,
How does that work?
Well, let's keep in mind that the Inspiritus evidence will be low income elderly folks. So they're not likely to be the demographic that is cruising above 32 miles.
I'm not worried about 30.
Well, my point being, we do know, and they're likely not to significantly contribute to the traffic calming concerns that we experience.
But the vehicular traffic to the food pantry that they operate will contribute. The visitors to those people will contribute. The trash trucks coming in and out will contribute. The delivery trucks to the food pantry will contribute. You're gonna make a plan and not consider any of that?
Well, I think what we're trying to do is make sure that everyone driving on the street is driving at a slower pace, at a safe speed. And no matter what their purpose is on Garfield.
Maybe a study of the traffic going out toward Rosa Parks. Because with New Hawk, this is a main artery. And the light there's only one lane. So if you're making left, straight, or right, you got one lane and one light. Did you guys do a study with that? I mean, these traffic calming things are great, I'm not against, but that's not the problem on Garfield. It's getting where traffic is backed up. That's the problem. And you've got bike lanes, some considerations. Have you considered making it a one-way street? Have you considered getting rid of the bike lanes and making 3 lanes where somebody can get in the right and make a turn on the Rosa Parks? Not having to, because the light doesn't last that long.
Mhm.
And,
Well-
yeah, sometimes they're deeper, they got a center.
NDOT
Trying to
can,
get out,
sure.
so study for that.
NDOT can look at the signal timing, and to make sure that it's appropriate for the traffic that's on Garfield. That's not part of the traffic calming program, but yes, we take into consideration, locations of signals and where we place the speed cushions as well.
I don't think anybody here is denying or questioning the traffic calming. What we're saying is that's a Band-Aid on your pinky finger, and your other 4 fingers are going to come off. Because there are all kinds of problems. Yeah. We understand you can't solve everything.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
we appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
Yes. Let me move on with more of the ballot. It's residential properties, churches, and schools are eligible to vote. I already said that it's only the properties that abut the street. And if we have multiple property owners, they're just getting 1 vote on the opportunity. And to your point, if there's anyone who, later on feels like you should have received your ballot and did not, please reach out to NDOT. I have my contact information on here at the end, which is coming up. Please reach out because we want to help people vote. If you get your postcard, please talk to your neighbor, make sure they got theirs and that they vote. Because our goal is to have everyone informed about the project and vote on it. Okay.
66%
Oh.
of people that vote.
Yeah, I guess I've missed that. I don't think I talked, thank you. It's 66% of those that vote. If they vote yes, if 66% of those that vote yes, then the project will move forward into construction. Thank you. That's important.
Is this a city ordinance where you're defining your yellow voting area? How is that defined?
It's the program policy, yes. It's not a city ordinance. It's not a city ordinance, but it's the policy of the program that we've been using for past 4 years.
I think your idea is if that's the best you can do, I don't have a problem with it, but I can't vote. Because it affects my neighborhood, it affects my street, but, you know, I think
I
the scope is
understand.
pretty narrow.
So I want to point out that we also have an Engage Nashville page for this project. You can go to it with the code or just NDOT.gov, and all the traffic calming projects are there. It's a way to give some feedback on the project, whether you live on the street or not. We'll be checking that as we finalize the plan as well. So it's a resource for the community. And also I've given my email address, and the NDOT traffic calming email is here. NDOT TrafficCalming.Nashville.gov. And like I said at the beginning of the meeting, we record these meetings for all of our neighborhood meetings about traffic calming projects. And you can go to NDOT's traffic calming website, TrafficCalming.Nashville.gov. That's where we house the plans for all the streets that we're working on. That's where the YouTube videos are located after meetings are completed. And then we also will post the results of the ballot, so that at the end of the 6-week process, we'll tally the votes. We'll make sure we don't have duplicates and so forth, and we'll post the results online there. And it's not individual votes; it's just what percent it was and whether it passed or failed. And I should say, if the vote doesn't pass, it doesn't mean there's no traffic calming at all. It just means that we would not do vertical measures on the street. So would do some more signage, radar feedback signs, or markings and so forth. Jordan, is there anything that I've missed? Any comments on the? All right. Yes.
I'm actually in Germantown, but I find it helpful to hear my neighbors in north of me right now. When the speed bumps went in on Fifth for Germantown, they helped on Fifth. They made things worse on Fourth and Third, because the traffic that used to come down Fifth speed now comes down Fourth and Third. So I just wonder for this project, if there's been any concern about the parallel streets north and south of Garfield, and whether that's going to have any unintended consequences on it.
That's a great question, and we do get that, especially in neighborhoods like this with more of a grid system. And we don't necessarily proactively look at that, but we are attuned to it. And so if there does become an issue, we can look into it and collect some data and see if there has been a shift in traffic. And that's another reason. Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah, because Buchanan probably not, because it's not it doesn't connect across, but Taylor to the south and Hume.
Taylor above is past where Hume Street is a narrow street at the beginning, right? They park on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That would be a perfect one-way street.
I think.
Okay, if you're gonna allow them to park on both sides, it's pretty simple. It's not.
So we actually, a couple of years ago, did try and get Hume Street down to parking on just the Salem Town side. Yeah, most of the residents in Worthing supported that. Unfortunately, a lot of the Salem Town residents on Hume Street did not support it, and so NDOT did not move forward.
Well, yeah,
Kind of
I think they must support it now because you have to stop. And unless it's a narrow,
it's a bad situation.
and it's just totally narrow street. Or don't park on one side. This is the problem solver.
Yep.
If I could do it, I'd do it like that, if I can't.
Sure.
The pros, guys that do the studies. And then I'll tell you another thing, they finally put a light there, which was great. But now, even when you come out and the cars they're parked on the rows of cars, you can't see. You know, even if you're trying to make a right on a red, you know. Issues,
Yeah.
studies that.
And that's a great thing to put into the hub. If there's some site visibility, because on-street parking, that is something you can put into the hub and that will look at it and you know, push the parking back away from the corner if it's needed. So, and that, there's a lot of that in Salem town that's been done that way. So, yes, unfortunately, traffic calming can't solve everything, but what our goal is to slow traffic down on residential streets to make it feel safer as you walk in your neighborhood. Yes.
From just a traffic engineering perspective, is having those cars park on both sides its own traffic calming?
It really is. Yes.
If we solve it, we probably wouldn't want.
Right.
That would be great, but if we put parking down on the side, that just gives people a great shot. Some more traffic.
That's a great point. On-street parking often does serve some traffic calming. Okay.
I think for the purposes of this meeting, it's just about Garfield.
It is. It is. We do select one street at a time, right now in the program, and Garfield was one that was selected. But, you can apply for traffic calming at any time during the year now. It used to be, you know, 2 times a year. We do select twice a year, but, we used to have a 2 to 3 week window for applications. Now it's open all the time. So your neighborhood can apply at any point.
Yeah, who funds the program, and does each of the 25 selected streets have like a set budget that they have to work within for the solutions fund?
Great question. The program is funded through NDOT's capital budget. And so it depends, depending on year to year. It's been pretty consistent the last several years, but it depends on council approved budget. And so that's why we select 25 at a time, twice a year. So it's 50 streets a year thus far. And your other question was whether every street has to work within the same budget. Not necessarily. I mean, our tools are pretty comparable street to street or within our toolbox, the price, but you know, some streets are longer than others. So it's not that we have an exact budget, but because we want to do what's right for that street, not too much, which could push traffic out if we did way too much just because it was a short street. All right, again, I'm Amy Birch. I'm going to hang out for the rest of the meeting. But thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Amy.
We have somebody that's joined online, so I'll just keep this running.
Okay.
I'm just going to stop the recording.